Let's talk about the patch note changes and how it feels so far. I've been playing the game now on my Necromancer, and I've been basically just spamming the Nightmare Dungeons because I wanted to get a feel of what it's like, and I've got about 5 levels straight from just playing in the Nightmare Dungeons over and over and over again. The obvious one first, which is the ability to actually activate it, hit tab on your map, click on it, and teleport it, in and of itself does not increase the experience per dungeon, but massively increases your experience per hour because walking to the dungeons took insanely long. This is the first primary point I want to make, is it is instantly noticeable. Look at the difference of time that it would take me in order to actually walk this. So initial review of that change was even better than I thought, which goes to show the quality of life changes should be a focus in games like these, as quality of life are very often what will drain people and make them not want to play. One such example, the gyms. Everyone's losing their mind about the gyms. Myself included, I'm losing my mind about the gyms being in my inventory. This is quality of life. This is one of these changes that once it is fixed, it will massively increase the enjoyment of the game because annoying things in the game are, who would have thought, annoying. In terms of actually experience output, once you're in the dungeons, it felt to me like it probably was double what I was used to. I didn't actually sit down and calculate it out using a spreadsheet or anything in terms of experience. I've been live streaming, playing the game, looking at it, etc. At the level I was getting, I felt like I was getting about a level an hour. I'd say maybe 10 mil experience per hour on the high end for fairly standard gameplay. I would say easily 5 mil experience an hour if you're like dying, fucking around, drinking beers. It's still good experience is what I'm saying. So I could expect within a day you're actually getting levels. Even at somewhat a decent level, you're still going to be getting enough experience that feels like it matters. So for me, the experience, I don't know what the actual numbers are, but it felt like, okay, better. It felt a lot better for me, enough that it made me actually want to do the Nightmare Dungeons, because to be honest, other than glyph leveling, I didn't really like them that much before. Now, while for me the dungeons seem like a very obvious W because we're getting an increase in experience an hour, which feels significant, there was actually one part of the update that I expected to be a lot better, which was the Hell Tides. If you actually look at what it says in the patch notes here, okay, and we pull this up, you can see here it says, Helltide chests now provide substantially more bonus experience when opened. Well, I can confirm I opened one that was 75 and I got about 39,000 experience, which for me, I was like, really? Like that's not enough to matter, you know, who cares? And then I opened one that was 125 and I got like 75,000 experience or something like that. And I was like, wow, okay, that's not very much either. And then I did the mystery chest that was like 175 and that one gave me 39,000 experience as well, which was down from the one that was literally cheaper. So I wasn't personally experienced any substantial experience at all from the chest. So for me, that was disappointing. Now, the roaming bosses in Helltide have this like roaming guy that looks like Kha'Zix from League of Legends. You've probably seen him during this Helltides. And that guy now drops basically legendary items. Before, it kind of felt like he only dropped rares. I don't know if I ever got a legendary from him. The first time I killed him, I got myself Ancestral Legendary right off the bat. So now it actually seems like he drops gear that might be useful or at least has aspects on it. In terms of the Whisper experience, my problem with the Whispers is I basically am not going to do the Whispers unless it's an early level alt where the Whispers are one of the only things to do. Because the Nightmare Dungeons are actually really good right now, the only time I'm really getting the Whispers done for the Tree of Whispers is when I'm actually doing the dungeon accidentally that happens to be a Whisper. Probably helps a little bit for the early level alts, but hasn't felt significant outside of that. Now, I have seen many opinions, is the way I'll put it, about the changes to the actual characters in terms of the number changes, etc. I will agree right now that none of the actual number changes fundamentally change if a class is viable or not viable or anything like that. I would say it's the age-old adage, good lord, I can't speak, of a step in the right direction, primarily from the aspect of spirit and essence generation, like generating the things that you need to do something, seem to be the biggest W out of this for me. The damage increase, maybe I mildly feel, not necessarily a whole bunch, but the essence increase is something that I feel like a lot of us struggle with trying to generate the essences or the spirit, etc. So I'll take every one of those buffs that I can get. In terms of bug fixes, there is a whole ton of these, and the ones that I have noticed have been fixed that were super annoying to me were like when I do the corpse explosion, it doesn't make it where I can no longer see anything in there. So I actually like that that got fixed. It seems like some of the bugs are maybe slightly less. I'm still experiencing bugs. Some of the time when I hit tab, like the buttons don't work, or I can't drop a pin, it won't actually create a line, or automatically I'll click on one thing, it'll try to teleport me to a different city. I'm getting some map issues. Maybe I need to run a repair of the game, but those still seem to be there. For the most part, though, I think this patch was mostly a W. It's a step in the right direction. There are some things that I was surprised weren't buffed more. Like I say, the experience for Helltide chests are still a little bit pitiful. But in terms of overall experience gains in the mid going into the late game, especially Nightmare Dungeons, massive increase from the Nightmare Dungeons experience. I'd argue it's probably up to double the experience if I had to wander a guess at it. That's what it feels like to me. I feel like a lot of players are solo players. Not everyone does the same dungeon over and over again in a 4-stack, which is still going to be your best experience no matter what at the moment. That just seems to be the meta. In terms of actually farming experience in this game's solo standard gameplay, the Nightmare Dungeons were significantly better. So overall, I like this patch. I do understand the points people are making around the balance changes to the classes. Maybe they weren't exactly everything we want to see. They're probably going slow between Season 1, and I would expect the Season 1 patch to have more game-changing information in it. And obviously, Kitty is upset, so we're going to end the video there. Consider liking if you want to, subscribe if you want to. If not, don't worry about it. Thanks for 200,000 subs. We're very close. Love you all. Have a great day. Kitty!